Today I'm going to talk about how to build links and relationships by stalking your competitors. I use two tools to stalk all of my competitors. I use Brand24 and Buzzsumo. Buzzsumo is really great at tracking links as they come in, and Brand24 is really good at capturing your social media mentions on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Anytime your brand is mentioned, or your competitor's brand in this case, it usually has it first. And so I use these tools to monitor all of my competitors so I know when they're building links and what they're doing. So here's what I do. Every time my customer gets a link, I make a list. I try to contact that person immediately. And so every week or every day, every morning actually, I look through all my competitors' links and see what new links they got that day. And I try to find the contact information of the person that is writing the article. As long as they're not an employee, I generally reach out. So it's important to contact people really quickly, compliment them, and build that relationship when it's timely, because after 6 weeks, 6 days, it could just be an old article and they may be off to something else, or maybe they're like guest blogging on a site and they lost access to it, or they stopped talking to that person. So you might not be able to get a link or might not be able to do something. So timing is everything. I also get involved in their blog posts. If the writer who built a link to my competitor has a blog, I'll start commenting, I'll start engaging. And again, my goal is to build that relationship, see if I can hire them, and if they would link to me in the future, or even go back and link to me using and mentioning me as an additional tool. I never hide who I'm working for, who I am. I usually introduce myself as, hey, I'm the founder of blah, blah, blah. Not pitching you anything. I liked your article here on blah, blah, blah. Was wondering if you want to write for us. When you try to hire somebody, and generally a lot of the guys who are writing about companies are freelancers. And if they are an employee of the competitor, you're never going to get it, so don't try. So don't contact those employees. I also submit all the content to Quuu Promote, and I tag that folks, and I let them know, hey, loved your stuff. I'm submitting you to Quuu Promote. You should be getting a few hundred new shares for this. Now, that makes the writer look good. It makes the place that they wrote for happy, and it makes you the winner and the champion of both those things. So they generally will reach out back to you. Now, when I reach out, again, LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, and I also add them, again, I use a lot of my own tools. I use narrow.io, and I add their Twitter handle, their blog, and the blog that they're writing at. And so that I'm always following and engaging automatically everything that when they're referenced or anything that they do, so that like I'm kind of on their radar. So I've set the tool up so it's automating all the virtual stalking, and that's really easy. And again, if you see your competitors writing and hiring guest posts or hiring writers or freelancers or whoever to write for them, I usually reach out to them and try to hire them myself. Not on a monthly basis, for 1 or 2 blog posts. The great thing is, if you know they write for your competitor, you know somebody has somewhat vetted them out. They've already published an article, so it's really easy. You know they're good. You don't have to do any of that hard work. Now, you don't know their alliances or if they're, where they're at, so you don't want to be too pushy about your product. But generally speaking, I've done this about a few dozen times now, and generally speaking, I get I'm like 30 to 40% success rate on every article that I find that links to my competitor, getting a link myself. And oftentimes it's usually adding, and this tool as well can blah, blah, blah. So those are ways I use monitoring my competitors on social and all the links they build to build links and relationships myself. Until next time, guys, take care.